The first song I heard from Bleeding Through was Love Lost in a Hail of Gunfire. And this was back in the MySpace days, I think 2004. Yeah, senior in high school. And this is like MySpace days, and when you would still go to like websites to check out bands. And I remember going to the Trustkill Records website to just like watch their new artists and stuff that they had from new artists and new music. And I saw the video for that song, and I was just like completely captivated by the visual, the sound, like just the whole package somehow just like sucked me in and resonated with me. And then the cherry on top was their bassist in the music video does like this insane like spin kick with his bass on right before the breakdown comes in, and it's in slow motion in the video. And I was just like, oh my fucking God, this band is insane. And that was the moment where like I just became obsessed, and they became my favorite band like almost instantly. And they've never not been my favorite band since then. My experience seeing them live has been spread out over a long period of time, and there are some amazing stories. First time I ever saw them live, I drove to Philadelphia to the Electric Factory to see them, and it blew me away. Like it was a bigger show, so I didn't get to see them at like the small club initially, because I got into them like right as they were really blowing up, and I didn't get like that small club experience with them until much later. But the show was insane. The crowd was insane. I actually very much remember they played a song called Tragedy of Empty Streets, and their strobe lights went exactly with the breakdown, and that moment stuck with me. And something that every time we have strobe lights during our show, I'm like, it has to go with the hits of the breakdown. And I just think back to that moment, because like that was just something I took from that show as being so awesome. Well, I think, as far as how they've kind of become enmeshed in our songwriting, I don't think it's necessarily any secret for anyone that knows Bleeding Through and knows us that they're a massive influence. I mean, Brandan Schieppati is like my hero, and like I just everything that he would write about, and how absolutely fucking angry he was, and just unapologetically honest with his lyrics. And that to me like pushed me to be that way when we were doing the Creatures and everything. And there's a lot of Bleeding Through influence. I mean, listen to Scissorhands or Puppets and other songs, like that's such a Bleeding Through influence. It's just like I don't know, they're still very much to this day. I think we've pulled back on those types of songs more as time has gone on. Surprisingly, they're not at all. Like they're always like the least favorite or least most played songs on every one of our records that we put out, but we still like doing them. But they have just kind of been interwoven with our stuff since really early on. And then same thing goes for live. Like I just watching Brandan, there's two guys that like live have just been like powerhouses that I've kind of tried to channel, and that's Brandan Schieppati from Bleeding Through and Corey Taylor. And those guys live are the most like commanding, just no fucking no messing around, just like they will command the crowd. I don't know, it's just you just have to experience it. I'm sure a lot of everyone watching has experienced a Slipknot show and seen Corey just completely take control of the crowd. And Bleeding Through was like that a lot as well. And man, it was powerful. When we pulled up to the first show, I was just like, okay, should I like go approach them and say what's up and thank you and everything. So we of course did, but it was like scared little kids, just like, hey, thank you, sir. Just, it was such a fanboy moment, and I fanboyed the entire tour, and I was front row every single show on that tour singing along. And that ended up getting me to have one of the coolest moments of my whole life, which I guess maybe we could talk about it in another question. But yeah, it was total fanboy, and they were so nice. They were so welcoming. They watched us play all the time. They were supportive. I mean, we were terrible at that point. We were so not good, and they were supportive. And they didn't talk shit. They didn't. There's a lot of bands that you can tour with where they bring you on tour because they might see you as you know, just another ticket sold, but those guys actually cared enough to support us and kind of offer advice, which was really cool. To me, it was like the fast pace, like go, 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 one into another, like so much energy. And to me, now we, back in our early shows, I feel like we did talk a lot because like part of our thing is a little bit different than theirs were like, I really like to engage with the crowd and like just talk and kind of get that moment of human to human. He did that, they did that every so often, but the thing I took away was just like energy, just constant song after song after song, heavy energy. And that that can definitely take control of a room pretty heavily. So that's something that we definitely tried to do. Like you'll notice we kind of block songs out where it is like that. And that's just kind of another early thing that I've noticed from touring with them, and just really trying to absorb what it's like and how to really take control of that energy and use it to make everyone have like a great time. The coolest moment, like one of like top 5 moments in my life, was when we were on tour with them, and they have a song called Revenge I Seek, and the breakdown of that song is like probably the most angry, pissed off breakdown of their entire catalog. And I mean, the lyrics are "fuck you forever," and I was front row the whole tour, as I mentioned, and I think we were in Las Vegas or somewhere right outside of Vegas, and that song's playing, and I'm fucking losing my mind. And Brandan just like the dude is super jacked. If you haven't ever seen him, just go look up pictures. He's like super jacked, and he just like reached out his hand to me and grabbed me with one arm, and I like I thought he was just giving me like a bro handshake, and he straight up with one arm just lifted me in the air, pulled me and put me on stage, and put the microphone in my hand, and was just like, go. And this is like for the breakdown of that song, and I lost my fucking mind. I don't think that there's any video. I've looked for a video of it, and there's just not. And it was like the most unexpected and awesome moment of my life. Not most awesome, but one of the most awesome moments of my whole life, to just like have that happen, and to be a kid in my room that was just like either just raging to their music or just dealing with really tough shit in life, and their music being such a massive help to me. To kind of have that moment was just like, it's so powerful, you can't put it into words. So that's definitely huge memorable moment of my life. So at that point, I think that tour was 2009, and then in 2012 I asked Brandan to sing on one of our songs, and he said yes. And then years later, he did a project called The Iron Sun and asked me to sing on one of those songs. And that the song he sang on for us, it was more like he just had a section of the song. He had the beginning, the end, and then the middle section. Whereas the song for The Iron Sun, we were kind of intertwined with each other back and forth, and that was super cool to hear. And I was just really honored to be asked to do it, because for obvious reasons. So that was definitely another really rad moment that I like. It's so funny, like I would love to like hang like a framed something on my wall that like kind of memorializes that moment, but like I'm finding it's so funny, like you can't necessarily physically hold a moment like that and put it on a wall, but it's such a cool thing to have in my life catalog, so to speak. Well, the first favorite is definitely The Truth. That record completely, I mean, if the band already didn't change my life with my second favorite record from them, This Is Love, This Is Murderous, that was the first record I heard. When The Truth came out after that record, it just kind of embodied like everything I was feeling. Their entire, as I mentioned earlier, like the entire package of the band spoke to me on such a deeper level than any other band. At this point, there was a band called 18 Visions, which really, really spoke to me. But there's something about them. There was some one thing like missing from them that Bleeding Through had, and it just struck so deeply. And that record, the lyrics to the record, the pain, the honesty and sincerity, like the amount of heart that is like just the chest ripped open heart on the record is ridiculous, and that hit me so fucking hard. So that record's my favorite, and then This Is Love, This Is Murderous is my second favorite, being the first record I found from them. Same type of raw, powerful emotion. And then third would be Declaration. That to me is like their big production album. They worked with one of my favorite producers. The songs are noticeably sonically different and such a like a massive level up from their other stuff. And it was so cool to see like that evolution of them, but while still getting to hear all the things I loved about them. So yeah, those are my three favorites.